You know, wherever you go in the world, there's wonders to behold, beautiful sights to see, and cities everywhere that have their own magic, their own history, and people want to go and see them. And more now in cities all over the world, it's costing something somewhere to go in and, do something. There's a toll, there's a fee, there's a fare. No matter what you do, there's money everywhere. You look at London, which we will talk about now, and you literally get to the outskirts of London and it starts costing you money. ULEZ charge. Well, they don't stop there, do they? We have all the woes with TFL, where millions of pounds seem to be flushing away somewhere. I'm not quite sure where that might be. And they've come up with another harebrained scheme, a tourist tax. How do everybody? Welcome back to the channel for a Saturday. Hope you're doing all right. I'm not too bad. Back in the garage at the moment. It's warm again, but lovely day nonetheless. Not as hot as some of the weather we've been having lately. And of course, isn't it a great weather to go out and do things and see sights and everything else? Well, one place I wouldn't really want to go anymore is London. I don't even like going there to work anymore. You look at the ULEZ charge, for example. They've expanded it and expanded it and expanded it. And there's also a consultation coming up, well, if it hasn't happened already, where they're going to look at expanding it even further to cover the whole entire city. So literally just skirting around the edge of it is going to cost you in a car. And we all know the ulterior motive to that. They don't want motor vehicles in London. That's quite obvious to anybody. But now they're going to be picking on tourists. You see, they're actually talking about a tourist tax, and the excuse they use, other cities around the world, like New York, for example, introduced taxes for people coming in. But from what I'm led to believe about New York, nobody will want to go there, and the residents themselves are actually leaving because there's cameras for this, fees for that, taxes for that, and the same thing is creeping over here, all in the name of plugging a funding hole in TFL, which they're blaming on the convicts, of course. I came across this earlier, which I'll tell you about now, and I couldn't believe it. I'm sure you'll agree with me. A new tourist tax could be introduced to solve TFL's funding crisis and pay for the London Underground. I mean, in my view, you sack the mayor of London and work out where all the money's going, but that's another matter entirely, I have to say. Yes. I don't know what to make of this, to be quite honest, but there you go. Transport for London is desperate for extra tax. Could a tourism tax rescue it? Tourists to London could face a new tourism levy to fund TFL. I mean, let's not mention the fact they've had a couple of bailouts already and it doesn't seem to be good enough. City Hall has heard Professor Tony Travers of the London School of Economics told the London Assembly on Wednesday that a tourist tax could be worth hundreds of millions of pounds a year. Well, you're banking on the fact that people will come, and suggested it could be used to solve TFL's funding crisis. TFL's fare income collapsed during the pandemic and has still not fully recovered. The transport network received another bailout on Wednesday from ministers of just 2 weeks as City Hall figures fight for long-term capital funding for the mayor-led body. Professor Travers told the London Assembly a new tourism levy of a few pounds per night for international visitors would be on a list of potential ways of producing longer-term funding for TFL. But would it really go on TFL? That's another thing to think about. A tourism levy is not uncommon in other major European cities. It's a justification coming in, with New York, Paris, Berlin, Rome and Amsterdam all operating a similar tax. If the rate of a hotel room or tourism levy was set at £2.50 a night, this would generate around £102 million per year for London. A 2017 report backed by many London's businesses and the mayor found it estimated that in London, overseas visits account for 82% of bed nights spent in the capital, not to mention cruise ships and other things. And the report goes on you know, justifying it. A separate City Hall report found that the tourism levy, similar to Paris, based on hotel star ratings, could generate in the region of £140 million. I mean, this is all wonderful, isn't it? All this revenue generation, but yes, another tax. And how's it going to be enforced? Will there be cameras? Will there be terms and conditions? I saw another advisor saying that if they go down this route, it will cost jobs because people will just go, we ain't coming, end of. You know, how much more do they want to pile on us as, you know, residents of this country? Other people coming in where times are tough enough. I know it's only £2.50 a night, but, you know, you have a 10-day stay in London, there's 25 quid. It adds up, and it's more the principle of the thing, in my view, than anything else. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll be interested to read. See you in a bit. Toodaloo.